What up, y'all? Tight shirt, Terry Warfield. And I'm outside today. It's cold. I'm actually at home base, so no fancy scenery, none of that stuff today. Listen, I realize, and I'm very grateful, that I'm lucky to be able to own the Sony A7IV and the Sony A7S III. Now, I have built an entire playlist on the A7IV. Make sure you check that out. That'll be down there in the comment section, pinned comment, and also right up there. But I'm very fortunate that I'm able to own both. Now, one thing that I haven't seen covering much is the stabilization between both cameras. I think that the stabilization is pretty much the same, but there have been some reports that the A7S III is better than the A7IV and blah, blah, blah. And I want to see which one is actually better. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do some vlog testing with both cameras. And we're also going to do some walk-in tests to see which stabilization system when it comes to active is better, if either one is actually better at all. So anyways, let's get into it. All right, so first test is the walk-in test. Now, real quick, I want to turn off active stabilization so y'all can see how much the crop is, right? So let me turn it off. All right, I'm with the Tamron 17-28. I'm at 17 millimeter, just holding it regular length. Steady shot, active is turned off. Now let's go ahead and turn active on. All right, so that's how much the crop is with active on. Again, Tamron 17-28. Let's begin walking. Now, I'm going to just walk normally, try to hold the camera out front. You know, vlogging, holding the camera is not that easy on your shoulder, you know, but I'm not trying to, like, be super perfect with holding it, but this is what it looks like at 17 millimeter. My shutter might be cranked a little bit because it's a little bright out here. I do have an ND filter on here. And, again, it's a Sony A7S III. With the Tamron 17-28. Now let me stop and I'm going to punch in to about right between 24 and 20. So this should be about 22 millimeters. And we'll go on another walk real quick. So the reason I did that is because a lot of times stabilization looks great when it's wide. Actually, you can kind of see if there's any wobble going on, but stabilization is pretty easy when the image is wide. But you know, once you start cropping in, you go with a tighter crop, all of those little micro jitters get kind of amplified, right? So this is the Tamron 17-28 at typical walking distance. So what you think? I'm gonna be honest, I'm in the house real quick warming up. Let me take a sip of coffee. I don't think there's gonna be any difference in the stabilization. If it is, I don't think it's going to be discernible to the average eye unless you be, you know, one of them pixel peeping times and all that. But, you know, we'll get on with it. Let's go ahead and switch to the A7IV. All right, I'm on the A7IV now. S-Cinetone, all settings pretty much the same. So let's go back outside. All right, now I'm on the A7IV. Pretty much the exact same setup, right? Tamron 17-28, active mode. I got S-Cinetone turned on, same ND filter. And I'm at 17 millimeters on the Tamron 17-28. So I'm doing the same test I did with the A7IV. Might be a little bit overexposed. Shutter might be a little cranked. Roll wireless go. But this is 17 millimeters. Now let's do the same thing we did with the A7S III. Change it to about 22-ish millimeter and see if the stabilization is any better. Like I said, I don't really think there's going to be any difference in terms of, you know, how good one is over the other and vice versa. But I guess y'all can be the judge. Now, let's go get the 24-70. I'm going to get my wife out here and I'm going to have her do some walking and I'm going to film her at various focal lengths and we'll see which one does better. We'll just start with the A7IV first since we already on this camera. Let's go. All right, I got to interrupt this video. This is Editor Terry. I'm editing right now at the table. Yo, I know I've been saying throughout this video, I didn't think it was going to be any difference in the stabilization, but I'm definitely noticing, as you probably have too, that the S3 is absolutely smoother. Now, obviously there could have been variables, right? Terry could have been shaking one camera and not the other. I get that, but I don't think I did, but it's possible, right? But I guess we'll have to keep watching to find out more. The other thing that I found is although both cameras were set exactly the freaking same when it came to audio, and I made sure that even the Roll Wireless Go that I took off one camera, put it on the other, I didn't even turn it off or touch any of the buttons. Yo, although I should have had my audio levels in check, why is the S3 clipping and the A7IV not clipping? What is going on with that? Anyways, let's get back to the video. Real quick before I put the 24-70 millimeter gangster mode on here, a lot of y'all are probably going to say, oh, you didn't test photography. Well, active mode is not really useful in photography standard steady shot is very useful for photography, and we already know what type of benefits that provides. And in that regard, both cameras will likely be exactly the same. So let's go ahead and switch to the 24-70. I got my wife out here now. Let's do it. All right, y'all, we are outside now. This is the A7IV with the 24-70 f2.8 gangster mode. Now, sorry if this looks all extra creamy. The only ND filter I had for 82mm filter thread was one that had like 20% diffusion built into it also. But anyway, say hello to my wife. Say hi.
Hey.
Hey. All right, come on over here. All right, so this is what we're gonna do for this test. I'm gonna have her just walk backwards, and I'm gonna start at 24mm. Again, active stabilization is turned on. And I'm gonna go 24, 35, 50, 70. I'm gonna try to keep my distance the same from her, but I think I'm gonna have to back off when I go to the longer focal length. So anyways, y'all ready? Okay, fine. Start walking, please. You can walk normal, weirdo.
Oh, well, you didn't say that.
All right, so this is 24 millimeters. Hopefully Macho don't run out here. The dog is...
I'm just walking backwards.
You're gonna be all right. All right, let's go to 35. I'm gonna back up some. And I'm walking normal speed. Our dog is about to come running out here. Guarantee you. All right.
I think so. He's not by the gate.
50 millimeters.
He's eating a bird or something.
You eat birds? Ask me, do I eat birds?
I think every YouTube person who watches you knows you eat birds.
I was about to say something real foul and sarcastic, but I'm gonna not do it. All right, let me go to 70mm. All right. You look beautiful, by the way. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. All right, so we did 24, 35, 50, and 70, all handheld. I have no clue what this looks like. It probably looked like trash. Let's go get the A7S III and do the same test. All right, here we are back on the Sony A7S III, and everything is the same. We got the gangster mode, of course, same ND filter, S center tone, auto white balance, all that stuff is the same. So let the test commence. We are in active stabilization. Start walking backwards, and don't trip and kill yourself, because I don't feel like going to the freaking ER. 24mm, and again, I'm just holding it normal, not trying to hold it steady. All right, so this is 24. Let's move into 35. Let me back off some. You look real cold.
It's not that bad.
You gonna live.
It's cold, but...
All right, 50. Let me sag off some. You're doing a great job, kid.
Thank you.
You look beautiful.
Thank you.
It's tracking your eye real nice. This don't look no different to me. But anyways, 70mm. Active stabilization. Sony A7S III. I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I don't really see no freaking difference, but let's go ahead and wrap this video up. All right, so testing is finished, and looking back at all of this footage, I know I said initially that I felt like the S3 was smoother, but looking at the clips where I was like walking behind my wife filming her, in some parts I feel like the A7 IV was smoother. Now, I don't think the stabilization is amazing on either camera, but I feel like these results are inconclusive, right? Some of you will argue, oh, you should have tested this, you should have tested it this way. Listen, you could go get your own cameras and your own YouTube channel and test it how you want to. I wanted to test it in situations that I will be using stabilization in, walking scenarios and stuff like that. And in this case, if stabilization was something that was a factor to you when it comes to deciding between these two cameras, I don't think this is something that you need to consider. I think both of them are pretty much equal systems. I don't really find one to be that much better than the other. Like I said, sometimes it was a wash. I couldn't tell which one was better. And I know I could have been walking smoother and stuff like that, but it was cold. And again, I wanted to utilize it under regular scenarios that I would be using it on in the day-to-day basis. And in that case, I don't feel like either one is better than the other. So with that being said, hope this video was at least some type of helpful to you. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments. Till next time, I'm out of here. Peace and chicken grease, Terry Warfield. Peace.